Think we're live. What's going on, everybody? Super Goshen back with another video on the Berlin Conference with another article y'all can use so y'all research if anybody thinking of researching it or looking into this. I thought it was interesting, so I thought I'd cover it. But again, this is another article. I think I may do maybe one or two more on this subject, on this one, and move on. But without further ado, to hop right into it. Uh, this article is from the South African History Online or SouthAfricanHistory.org on the Berlin Conference. To start, Berlin Conference can best be understood as the formalization of the scramble for Africa. The British coined the term sometime, typo, I think, in 1884, and has since been used to describe the 20 plus years when various European powers explored, divided, conquered, and began to exploit virtually the entire African continent. European powers were slow to realize the benefits of claiming land in Africa and had mainly kept to coastal colonies. However, in 1884 to 85, the scramble for Africa had truly begun in earnest when 13 European countries and the United States met in Berlin to agree to the rules of dividing Africa. The outcome of the conference was the General Act of the Berlin Conference. Prior to the conference, European diplomacy treated African indigenous people in the same manner as they treated New World natives, uh, forming trade relations with tribal chiefs. This can be seen in examples such as Portuguese Portuguese trading with the Kingdom of the Congo. With the exception of trading posts along the coast, the continent was essentially ignored. This changed as a result of King Leopold of Belgium's desire for personal glory and riches, and by the mid 19th century, Africa was considered ripe for exploration, trade, and settlement. In 1876, Belgium's King Leopold II announced his intent to fund an exploration of the Congo region. And in 1879, Leopold sent Sir Henry Morton Stanley to the area. In the same year, the French began building a railway east of Kur, um, hoping to get hoping to tap potentially huge Sahelian markets. That year, France also joined Great Britain in taking financial control of Egypt. From 1879 to 85, Stanley went to the Congo as an envoy from Leopold with the secret mission to organize what would become known as the Congo Free State, a mercantile enterprise in the Congo. French intelligence had discovered Leopold's plans, and France was quick to engage in its own colonial exploration. French naval officer Pierre de Baraza was dispatched to Central Africa, traveled into western Congo basin, and raised the French flag over newly founded Brazzaville in 1881 in what is currently the Republic of Congo. To add to this, Portugal had a long history in the area, I assume that would be, through its trade and treaties with the Congo Empire in the area, though its treaties with the Congo Empire, which in essence became a proxy state of Portugal. It quickly made a treaty with its old ally, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, on February 26, 1884, to block off the Congo society's access to the Atlantic. Yes, there's a lot of typos, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot of typos. But see if it's information that we can be accurate. By the early 1800s, European interest in Africa had increased dramatically. Stanley's charting of the Congo River Basin, 1874 to 77, removed the last bits of terra incognita from European maps of the continent, thereby delineating the rough areas of British, Portuguese, French and Belgian control. The powers raced to push these rough boundaries to the furthest limits and eliminating any local minor rulers with which might prove troublesome to European competitive diplomacy. France moved to occupy Tunisia, one of the last of the Barbary pirate states, under the pretext of another Islamic terror and piracy incident. French claims of Pierre de Brazza were quickly solidified when the French took control of today's Republic of Congo in 1881 and also Guinea in 1884. This, in turn, partly convinced Italy to become part of the Triple Alliance, thereby upsetting Germany's Otto von Bismarck's carefully laid out plans with Italy and forcing Germany to become involved. Uh, in 1882, realizing the geopolitical extent of Portuguese control on the coast was seeing penetration by France eastwards across Central Africa upward, uh, I'm sorry, not upward, toward Ethiopia, the Nile, and the Canal. I'm confident I pronounced that wrong. Um, but if anybody in the comment section know how to pronounce Suez Canal, um, let me know. I appreciate it. Britain saw its vital trade route through Egypt and its Indian Empire threatened. So this is a picture of Africa in 1880 to 1913. See how the control um, grew so very quickly in 30 years. It's ridiculous. Under the pretext of the collapsed Egyptian financial structure and a subsequent riot in Cairo, which saw hundreds of Europeans and British subjects murdered or injured, the United Kingdom intervened in nominally Ottoman Egypt, which in turn ruled over the Sudan and would later become British Somaliland. Under the pretext of the collapsed Egyptian financial structure. Owing to the upsetting of Bismarck's carefully laid out balance of power in European politics caused by Leopold's gamble and subsequent European race for colonies, Germany felt compelled to act and started launching African expeditions of its own, which frightened both British and French statesmen. Hoping to quickly soothe this brewing conflict, King Leopold was able to convince France and Germany that common trade in Africa was in the best interest of all three countries. Under support from the British and the initiative of Portugal, Otto von Bismarck, German Chancellor, called on representatives of Austria, Hungary, Belgium, Denmark, France, the United Kingdom, Italy, the Netherlands, Portugal, Russia, Spain, Union, Sweden-Norway Union to 1905, the Ottoman Empire, and the United States to sorry, right here, and the United States to take part in an international conference in Berlin to work out a common policy for colonization and trade in Africa and the drawing of colonial state boundaries and official partition of Africa. The United States, however, did not actually participate in that conference vote because it had an inability to take part in territorial expeditions, as well as a sense of not giving the conference further legitimacy. The Berlin Conference spanned almost 4 months of deliberations from November 15, 1884 to February 26, 1885. By the end of the conference, the European powers had neatly divided Africa amongst themselves, drawing the boundaries of Africa as we know them today. So there you go. The more you know. Wish there was a bigger picture of this. Let's see if we can. No, it just takes us to Wikipedia. But there's the article. Uh, Crazy stuff. And I hope y'all, I look forward to the discussion in the comment section. Whoever who reads or listens to the video. But that'll do it for today. I'm out. 99.